Well, it's been a very long time since we've done this kind of thing. I'll explain it all in a second. Hello, gentle listeners. How are you? Happy Easter, everyone who celebrates Easter. If not, happy long weekend for those who are receiving a long weekend. For everybody else, oh, well, I hope you have a nice festival or something else during the year where you get to relax a bit. Spring is finally springing and sprunging and all kinds of things like that. Yes, it is. Now, what I'm doing here is, I have these things I'm going to open and try not to waffle too much. But again, I don't know why I do these things, to be honest. But some people turn up and watch them. Weirdos. But thank you very much. Hello, thank you. Okay, so it's just sharing love of the game and the hobby. Now, you won't see too much painting on my channel ever, because I'm atrocious at it. But maybe I can get some tips from Mrs. B and others and improve in the future. But for the time being, okay, so what have we got here? Now, I did a promo thing for the Azadi Death Threat a long time ago, actually, last year. And in January, I got sent this box of little men and told I have been a very good dog, woof woof, and I am getting them in. So they're all printed off, etc. And thank you very much to Pirate Bear or Sathon for doing that. And of course, thank you very much to the company, who I will put a link in the bottom, for the Azadi Death Front. I'm going to be having a look at them. I have waited 3 months now, I think, nearly 2.5, to open this. I said to myself I would open it after Space Wolves, and I didn't. I did not do that. I didn't feel that I had been a good enough doggy wog. Doggy. Now, okay, I'm going to open a white dwarf as well, because we haven't done one of those yet. And I'm quite excited about this little white dwarf here. I don't know why, possibly spending too much time indoors. I like a white dwarf. I'm not usually excited about them, but this one I'm actually quite excited about. And then some time in February, it was my birthday, and again I decided I had not been a good enough bow wow. I had not worked hard enough to open it, even though I had bought it, because I'd had a bit too much port again. Very rare for me these days. Now, so I've got myself some presents, and again, well, thank you very much. The patrons did this more than anything else. But again, if you can't treat yourself every now and again, because I do work very hard, and also, as explained and discussed with patrons before, this rejuvenates me. Even though I don't do much painting, I adore having them, I adore collecting them, putting them together, and one day hopefully I'll get back into the groove of painting and start getting through them. They'll never be gorgeous, but they'll be tabletop ready, and then maybe some bat reps in the future. Maybe. I'm not making any promises, because we all remember things like waiting for Baldo. I do promise more than I deliver, and I'm sorry for that. But my only defence would be that I do deliver quite a bit, though, in my defence. And again, I do want to do all of these things. Just, my schedule's quite tight. Hello? I can't really see where the camera is. Okay, so I'm going to pretend to come here. So this one can come later. So, yes, back to me being slightly defensive. I do work very hard, and I do. And I do a lot of hours, etc. And work, it's not like a real job, not like yours, etc. I like to feel that I give a nice foot massage when you all come in from whack. And that's my only job, really, just to make you forget the world for a short while you do the real world building yourselves, each one of you, by just tipping up every morning or staying at home and getting out of your jimmy jammies, putting on a shirt and tie just to make you feel normal at work, and then get on with doing the things that make the world go round. So everyone who watches this, thank you very much. I do realise that I'm just, as I say, the light foot massage of the ears. Okay, ear massage. It sounds like Umox, which is a bit Ferengi weird, but okay, in a positive, nice way. I like to feel that I'm just there to relax you, that's all. And let's stay away from massaging metaphors anymore now. Okay, now, thank you very much to everyone, of course, for watching and listening to my rambles. I have been trying some slightly different things. I know they probably don't feel that different when you're watching them, etc. But there has been quite a steady progression in the videos. Now, my problem is a lot. I know I'm always apologising for never having quite enough time to make things better than they are. I am learning But again, it's down to the quality of the pictures I can find, what visuals there are, and trying to get things done. But with 3 videos a week, it's been quite grueling. And yes, there have been less stories, etc. I'm trying to concentrate on some skills of reading out now a little bit better, in the hopes of getting some proper stories, not necessarily written by me, but some proper stories done. And then we could possibly do some of the longer videos, etc. So I'm still trying to upskill. Obviously, you've seen me now use other people's videos, etc. And messing around with, say, Major Kill's video, he's a good lad. And say Valrax in that Daft Bold con. Again, I'll have to apologise. I started that about 8 o'clock at night after dinner and had about 3 hours to just whop something out. I didn't plan for it. The time's been getting away from me on a regular basis, and I'm sorry. But again, I would like people to remember that if they can, and I know I don't do a huge 2.5 hour video every week, etc., not even every month, but the videos we're getting are much longer, and although they may not be more complicated in many regards, the length of them, I mean, for every minute I do, it takes many minutes to perform that, record it, edit it, get in the right time frame, wait until everybody in the road's quiet, which can be frustrating, because I love my neighbours, but sometimes they're very loud, and that can put a spanner in the works. Sometimes my internet goes very, very slowly, so slowly. I can't get any pictures, and sometimes the quality is just atrocious. But I am aware that more than 70% of people just listen, and I do that kind of thing myself. So, alright, I am trying to work towards bigger projects, and a couple have accused me recently, or pointed out that, you know, you fight a good fight with your mouth, but not necessarily get more done. I'm thinking, well, that's because you're expecting me to do things. When I say I'm going to do them, you're expecting it in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week. Unfortunately, when it goes on the list, with what I do and the way I do it, I've really got to be in the mood. I've got to be confident, I've got to be happy that I can do that one. Because I try not to read it out too flat. I read it out in a way that it's easy to hear, it's clear, hopefully. Some of the earlier stuff was a bit too loud and bit too fast. But again, there are lots of different things I am trying out in an attempt desperately to try and slowly make it much better. And for me, it feels like it's taking forever, and possibly for you. But if you look at how far we've come from just a year ago, it's quite good. But again, some of the year ago videos are very good as well. So yeah, okay, I am a little bit tired. Sorry about that, everyone. Waffly. Okay, so now this is the box I got given for doing the Zaddy Deathfront video. Also because I just like the look of them, and they looked a bit Talon to me, and girls in gaming. I don't want to get involved in any of that, whether you believe it or not, or whatever. It upsets people, blah blah blah. I think, just a very simple statement, more choice is good. If you don't want to have a chaplain in your army, don't have a chaplain. If you don't want to be religious, you know, if you don't want to have female Eldar in your Eldar, don't have them. If you want to have only female Eldar, have them. Do whatever you want, you know. That's what I say. And don't judge each other. Oh, now, anyway, ranty. Again, anything I say is just waffle. At the very end of the day, I know nothing about nothing. I'm an expert on nothing. And look at this. Now, I've never had a printed piece of toy. I have never had one. And I'm very excited to see how they turn out. These were done by one of the moderators on the Discord. It's so weird because it looks like a sweet. I feel like I'm going to eat it. Could you see that clearly? Let's have a look. But when you actually get into it, the detail is all there. It's very nice. Let's have a look at the rest of it. How does it go together? Oh. Obviously I'll get it better later on. Get it ready to sticky stick and gluey glue. But for the moment, Ooh. Ooh. And there's so much stuff to go. So get out of the light. Okay, Mrs. B's going to kill me. Right, so we have different turrets. Oh, nice. Now, again, it's very difficult to see these properly because, again, they're see-through CVT colour. But again, that's not going to make a damn bit of difference as soon as you start spraying over the top and start painting it. This is very nice, kid. I'm always amazed. It's like magic to me because I'm not very good with my hands. I mean, I can do bits and bobs, but it takes so much effort. Like anybody could write, one episode much better than me, but it might take them a bit more effort than it does me. Now the tracks are really nice. I do like that. That's good. It's little details as well as big for me. I just like, ooh, different options. That need to do a tiny bit of tidying. That's all good though. So I've got lots of options for my gunny guns. And I believe they go in the sides here. And these go on the top. Again, it's so strange that it's jelly baby green. Maybe I should get some more breakfast or something. Oh, I want to eat everything. Okay. But they are toys, and I am a sweetie kind of fan as well. No, that's looking good. That is looking good. Right. What have I done? I left a wheel inside. Right. There we go. Ooh. I did mention I'm not very good with my hands, didn't I? Yeah, okay. Well, we'll get to that later. So you get quite a bit of kit there. So you've got all the wheels, that's nice. Well, obviously. But you've got two different turrets. You've got two different styles of side guns, etc. You could proxy it. I've discussed proxying before. As long as you talk to the other person and it's clear. I mean, I wouldn't say, oh, look, it's Greater Demon. I've had that pulled on me. It's really annoying. Not because of numbers and size and stuff like that, because I'm not that gamey. Although it can be grating even for someone like me. But it's you might as well be playing with thimbles. Again, I don't believe in everything has to be spot on and all of the rest of it, and quite clearly I play with grey. But I do like to have figures at least the same size and imposing, Hello, it's Rupert the Greater Demon, but, it's only the size of a chihuahua. But, oh, that's all right then. Yeah, I'm really testing my ability to disbelieve in that. So, suspension of disbelief. I do apologise for the waffling. It's another tanky tank. APC. I'm a personal character. It's very nice of them. Ooh. Now for me, as I've said many a time before, it's the grunts. It's the regular foot soldiers. It's the gents or ladies kicking off that do it for me. Let's have a look at some of the Azedi Death Threat. Okay, or as I'm going to call them, the Talon. Actually, I'm not sure. Now, okay, now we're going to look at some of these. Obviously, it's fluff there. It's not their fault, that's mine. It's from my dressing gown. Okay, sweetie people. But, again, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you're catching all this, if you can actually see it or not, because of the fact it's opaque. It's... Oh, they're wonderful. They're just like the pictures. I don't know, that sounds stupid. What are you talking about, you dithering old dawdling man? But sometimes you see things, you're like, oh my god, it looks awesome, it's so huge, and then you get them, they're not, they're tiny and they're horrible. But these are actually really decent. I think they've got enough complexity to make them stand out. They've got a very striking style, but also they're simple enough to do in batch painting, which is obviously my favourite form of painting, because even if you're awful, if you get 10 things that look similar-ish, like any uniform situation, they instantly look more organised and better. Which is why the Space Marines will always be the poster boys of Warhammer 40, not even because of the lore, because they're easy to paint. But to a standard starter level, obviously, anything becomes more complicated as your level of skill and vision increases. Unfortunately, the thing that people forget about being a painter, which is in my eyes one of the greatest forms of art, Far better than any of the twaddle I come out with. Even though I do, it may spend as much time on a script as someone spends on a figure. Theirs is not just about the ability to get the right amount of paint in the right place and know how to build things up. It's the thing that I lack. It's the ability to look at a model and see the colours on it. And that vision of how they could almost in their minds flick through it. And I think, I'd imagine, I hope that I'm in the rarity that I find that exceptionally difficult to actually do. Which is why I always ask other people if they can help me with my colours. I know what I like and I don't like when I see it. But yeah, my visualisation for colours isn't great. Which is why in a lot of my, little fan fictions, it's lots of hues and colours, etc. I don't necessarily go into them enough, and I should do, because many people are more colour oriented than me. These are very sturdy models as well. Yeah, I can't see this breaking easily. I'm sure they could break, but it would take a little bit more than some of the others. And a lot of people would say, oh, it's monopose, I hate it immediately. Well, if you've got the will, the way, the skill, the vision, and a knife and glue, you can do whatever you like. But sometimes if you're doing a lot of men, and when you're talking about something like the Azadi Death Front, which are basically Imperial Guard, you're talking about a lot of men. So I think sometimes this kind of thing actually helps. Because then you don't have that level as well. But again, for many people who play just one army, like, God, it's perfect. But I play too many armies, or hypothetically play them. I own them and paint them occasionally. I've got loads of painted models. They're just not all in the same army. If you've got all of my painted art models and just put them in one place, they'll be like, yeah, that's good. So it would easily match anybody else's army. I've just got too many. I'm flitty. I love too many of them. So these are very convincing figures. I like these a lot. Again, I will have to base paint them. But no offence to the Azadi Death guys, but I've just got my mate STC into playing, and he's playing Sisters, and he's doing really well actually. He's got more of one army painted than I do. A scallywag. I was considering giving them to him so he can paint them up and have a female guard army as well. Don't worry, he's not a weirdo. It's just if you're going to paint something, a lot of people like to paint something beautiful. And to many, a space marine is beautiful. Sometimes. Anyway, subject, there we go. That's 15 of them. That's a healthy size squad, isn't it? Now, so, and there's just as many. Yeah. Oh, different positions. Woo! As I say, I'm so sorry that they're kind of, I'm not apologising for it being green. It's just really interesting for me. Again, never had printed stuff. So this is all going to look amazing when it's done. And possibly, yeah, that's a heavy weapon of some form. Either a bolter equivalent or a grenade, kind of grenadey thing. Maybe. One's gone. Come on, get off the floor. Clearly a plasma gun. Difficult to see, I'd imagine, but clearly a plasma gun. Doesn't she look stoic? Oh, I've got to shoot your face off. Okay. Someone else with a plasma gun. In motion. Now look like I'm about to blow someone's face off again. Amazingly enough. Okay, yeah, so there's... Oh, that's a lot of plasma. Flamers. So that's a good, healthy amount of men as well. More gun ladies. Keep calling them men, they're girls. Ladies, women, powerful, empowered women, stuff, all of that good things. Awesomeness. Oh, what's these? Oh my God. Oh. But the armor's broken. It's temporarily off. But look! They put in a big woman for me. Oh, look, she's kind of a Sister of Battle thingy. This is cool. I shall use her. I'm not sure how yet. Possibly a statue. Possibly a wandering monster. Every now and again I like to do that. Not many other people do that. Strange. Ha! But it's only when I'm playing with, say, a newbie. That is something I did want to talk about at one point. Yeah, I suppose I'll get into that. Yeah. Playing against newbies, a lot of people say, I would never let a newbie win. Ha ha ha. Well, that's daft. You don't let someone win. You become a GM. You reframe the entire scenario. Training someone how to play a game is about enjoyment and showing them that it is a joyful thing in the first place. Why would you not show them the heady joy of victory? If you can't be beaten, then just reframe it in your mind. You're the GM. You're not playing against them. You're leading them through the door into a brand new universe. And anyway, you want them to be at their absolute best. You want to train them to the best of your ability to train them. And then encourage them to get better so that when you do spank them, it's worthwhile. A very nice officer with a chainsword and either a lance pistol. Yeah, well, either a lance pistol or a lance pistol. Well done, well done. Okay. Just like the concept art. And again, sorry to go on about that, but I do find this incredible. But that's a lovely little banner. That really is. I am enjoying this a lot. Now, yep, you've seen that one. Here we go. Maybe that helps. I don't know. That's all. Yeah, here she is. Anyway, chainsword again, lance pistol. Nice officers. I am very impressed indeed. So that's going to be. Oh, and then of course we've got heavy weapons teams as well. I can see this being a very good core to add either to my own Imperial Guard or to just give the whole lot to STC. So I've got some Arguins. I love them, the new ones. They are so beefy. And when you put them together, it's just a real pleasure to put the Ogrins together. I've got to admit, Ogrins are probably at this present moment, and I only made them up about 2 years ago, practically, I think it was, or last year or something. They're one of my favourite sets of figures now, and I don't know why. They just do everything, they just look like they do what they do. And right, rambly. Okay, now, here we go. Right, so we got a Mordon, and that's me. Alright, so it just glues on like that, I believe. Okay, but yeah, as you can see here, I'll put a link up to this stuff. That is the heavy bolter, and it's all pre-drilled and everything, but as you know, it's formed without that in there, so it just looks so amazing. Again, I've got to get either myself or STC to spray these up, depending, and they're gonna. It's very difficult in that camera to see how cool it is. Yummy. Plasmas, I believe. And obviously the lady who is controlling and shooting the gun. All in all, a very good haul. And yeah, they asked me to give them a handout, and I said, yeah, absolutely cool. And this is just amazing. I've got, wait a second, got all the extra bits as well that go with it. Aha! Extra bits. Now, these will be the magazine and the power areas, which will go on them as well. Spot on. Very nice indeed. Now, I will always be a GW loyalist because of nostalgia, if nothing else. But also, they do everything really well. They do it amazingly. But this kind of thing as well, if GW, for whatever reason, I'm not going to say it's spite and, oh my God, they're throwing money away. Sometimes I do feel that, but they can't do everything. You know, they can't do everything. So as long as they're okay with little bits like this, this army wouldn't be for everyone, you know, for a myriad of reasons. It's monopose, etc., etc. But I think something like this, especially for either myself or SDC, to just get a large bulk unit, which looks great, is very different. It's Talon, and Forge World is great, but it's very expensive. And okay, I get it. I'm not a guard player intrinsically. Well, not since about 1995. So it's been a long time, and I don't really know all of the rules, etc. The orders, commanders, etc., etc. Of course, played against them, had a great time doing it. But this kind of thing, though, has its own place as well for someone who wants to play get an army up quick. A lot of people don't want to do that, and I advise, if they can, to do it slowly, build slowly, and really savour the enjoyment of making the choice, working it out, etc. Getting a huge amount of figures all in one go just goes onto a pile of shame, as other people call it. I call it my hoard, and I know that if absolutely necessary, as long as I could feed myself, etc., I could just do that if I had, if everything goes badly, one way or another. It's the thing that anybody on a platform like YouTube is always worried about. Just disappearing one day because of changing policy, or Warhammer's suddenly off vogue and you have to retire immediately, or anything else like that. But yeah, I really am waffling like a tiger today. Sorry, lads. And ladies, or I find that strange. Not that there are ladies in the game, etc., that anybody would watch this, but there you go. It's only hanging out when bored. Then again, I say that kind of thing, but on the other hand, I like watching other people do this kind of thing as well. So, Voldemort, thy name is hypocrisy. Yeah, well, we knew that. Okay, well, the Azadi Death Front. Very much looking forward to just getting even just a base layer of colour on these guys. Paint, even, not colour. Not using felt tips or crayons. But felt tips actually is valid. We'll get to that another day. Lots of other people do that kind of stuff better. But thank you very much to 40 Emperor, I think it is. I'll put it in a link in the bottom below. And there we go. So, and of course, thank you very much, Celadin. Oh, sorry, not Celadin. Sathon. Thank you very much, Sathon. That's really cool. Let's take a closer look at this. I don't know what it is. I don't know where he got it from. It's, yeah. I think it's too large. Obviously, it's too large for a person, but could definitely be. There's so many things it could be. Statue would definitely be perfect there. Standing above everyone, bit of a build-up, bum bum bum. And you can always make up little rules for your own buildings as well, as long as they're not overcomplicated. The terrible thing about and beautiful rules is simplicity is the key. Well, thank you very much to everybody. That was amazing, and I'm actually glad I waited. I know it sounds a bit strange, but sometimes waiting can make things much, much better. Okay, now I'm going to open the other box. This is what Mrs. B and I and patrons got for me for my birthday. Finally, I am good enough to see. I am using a knife now after a few box events, but not doing it very well. You can see what I mean about not being good with my hands. I'm a menace. Let's have a look. Okay, now I'm going to do that while I check to see if my name is anywhere here. Isn't it? It is there. Right, we take it away. Take it away. Whoa. Right then. So I'm very much hoping, as it gets sunnier outside, I'll be able to go outside on an afternoon when I've been told not to go near a computer by Mrs. B, who is wise and gentle to me and very nice, and looks after the board very well. Okay, but I do have hopes of getting my army up and running in a bit better. A storm speeder. This is one of the new land speeder replacements. I like the look of it. I've got to admit, I would love to have one of everything. That's never going to happen, but I can have one of most Space Marine things. I don't know which loadout I'm going to do. I'm going to try and magnetise it, and I'll be talking to Magnet Baron about that. Now, he sent over some stuff, and I need to have a look at that and get it up. He sent it over quite a while ago. As I say, sometimes I have very weird moods, whereas I want to make sure I do my best by someone, and I couldn't because I wasn't building anything. I wanted to show you how the Magnet Baron's magnets work. And he's got loads and all different sizes, and I'll show you soon. Okay, but the Magnet Baron is a wonderful chap, really good prices that I've seen anyway. And I'm going to show you how I would magnetise some of it. Now, I'm no expert, so what I'll also do is I'll put down the guides that I've viewed and do little things like that to show you how it's done. But again, I'm not going to get into massive modelling because I'm not very good at it, and to be honest, there are certain things you do in YouTube, and I've got to do what people want me to do the most, I think, otherwise it confuses stuff. But every now and again I've got to do a waffle like this because I do want to share with everyone the day-to-day reality of what the game is, even if they're just here for the lore, because it can be a lot of fun. No, my joy levels are already near through the roof. I'm so happy! Anyway, look at him! Wow! And he's got 3 Space Marines in it. And I'll have to try and do sub-assembly at one point. Oh, we'll have to get into that. Not sub-assembly. Anyway, so, wonderful. Yes. It's just meatier and chunkier. It's got bigger guns. And everything in 9th seems to be absolutely brutal. As it should be. 'Tis the grim darkness of the far future, where there is no time for peace. There is only time for war. Mephi! Now, I've got the original Mephi. My son did him quite a long time ago. But the new Mephi looks wonderful. I'm not sure I'll have him sniffing his finger. Maybe pointing or something. But maybe. I know it's wiping blood off his mouth, but I don't really like that. It is wonderful, though. But, I mean, Mephi is just amazing. He's a fantastic character. We will do him one day. But, again, I've got to read his novel before I do it. Well, reread his novel, and I think the others. I haven't got round to the Bell trilogies yet, which is a real pain in the bum, because I love Blood Angels. I mean, I love most of them, but I really love Blood Angels. And Mephi is just amazing. Now, of course, what I will do, as I always do in this situation, is get the old Mephi and the new Mephi and make them have a fight, because that'll have to happen, because it's always funny. So, Mephiston, Lord of Death. One of the most powerful psychos in the history of the Imperium. The Black Library Celebration 2021. Look, it's free. It's so free. They had to tell me it was free as well and just give it to me. We're not just giving it to you, we told you it's free as well. But it is to a lot of people that say, why have I got this book in here? Ooh. Okay, so what is it? I've never had one of these. Ooh, it's bookish. And Guy Haley, Darius Hinks, Mark Collins, Jake Osger, and Steve Lyons. And no matter what anybody else says about the lads at Black Library, I think they're wonderful chaps, all of them. Now, no one's ever going to release a book that's going to please everyone. And anyone can be in a bad mood and take truck with something. To speak as one, Guy Haley. But they really do try. You could practically pick up the book and ring it, and you'd have the blood, sweat, and tears flow out of it. They really do try. So, if you ever are unbelievably vicious about them, then go back and say, "Yeah, sorry, my bad. I was having a bad day. I took it out on them. Shouldn't have done that." They really do try, and a lot of them have got amazing vision. Your next read, Belisarius Call, The Great Work. Maybe next year. Again, no offence to Belisarius, I'm just not ready yet. It's still too soon for me. Death of the Road to Svartheim, Darius Hinks. Well, these do look good. I'm not sure everyone's going to get to hear these. Your next read, Ghoul Slayer, a Gotrek Gurnsnarv. Gurnison's novel. God, goodness, and I really shouldn't have fumbled over that. It was the light. It was the light. I've not had enough coffee. You know what? It feels so tempting. Now, I know they don't like people reading out their books, but other people do it. And it is free. I will have to look up where the stories come from and see how angry they would be. But if they're not going to be going out to people, it's like some of the older stuff, like the, Vigila stuff I've done. No one's getting the book anymore, and it's cool stuff. So that's why I put it out. Also, it's practicing, so, hopefully one day I'll be able to do this kind of thing as a sideline so I can worry less and then just put out videos I love instead of videos I have to do, Because, YouTube, as we all know, is a fickle mistress. And she often likes to do stamp things to your head. Stampy. Okay, so I'll look this up. But, anyway, no promises, because I've got to look it up. But it would be a shame if these were great stories and no one fewer people got to hear them than they should. But on the other hand, I am always aware that this is Games Workshop's IP. I like to think that I am just a guide. Yes, I am making money and a living doing it, but I like to think that I'm really drawing people in, and not in a silly, nasty way, but in a good way, in a nice way. To just show them how jolly it is. Okay, now, next one. A Gladius tank. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's boxy, it's big, it's a lovely big box. Ooh. It even smells like plastic as it should do. Oops, sorry, nearly facey. Nah, don't do that again. Three different options again. So I got this one and I got that one. It's looking great. Okay. Again, I will spend unless I can work out or watch a video from someone else. Again, you don't have to be an expert in everything. There are loads of experts out there on anything. You can look up anything. For me, you have law for me and other people, and anything hobbyish you can get on YouTube, other places, Squidmire and other places. And what's that lovely chap who talks really relaxingly? Him. I'll put up a link anyway. So, right. But yeah, just the fun of working out the different loadouts to me can be like a hot mental bath. I'm not thinking about anything but the probabilities. And, and again, like any other player, you say, oh my God, that's whack. No, it's first off, I look at the probabilities and I go, that's all good. Okay, so I know which is the best one for what I'm doing with this army. And then after that, I think of the visuals. And I've got to admit, that huge laser cannon, cutting things in half like a Mimbari blaster, wonderful. But of course, then there's the chain effects. You can just see the rain of shells that are going to come out the side as it spins, and the wind blowing, the smoke coming off them as it blows things to pieces. And then that, well, twice. Yeah, okay, yeah. You can see why I don't do this very often. I get a little bit excited. But again, this is what it's for. All of the time I'm doing this, I'm not worrying about bills or anything else or what's happening in the world. And that's why we're here. So, next one. I was a real pig. I was a real hog. But also I got money from my children and stuff like that. And they all got together and said, go and buy yourself some toys. And I went, oh, they cool. Wait a minute. That's not right. Should be an executioner. I have no idea until I look at my bills now. That's weird. Or maybe I just drank too much port and bought 2 gladiators. It seems unlike me, but anything could have happened that night. Well, anything harmless, I'm not exactly daring, am I? What are you going to do? I'm going to get drunk and, I don't know, make some figures. Wild stuff. And then, of course, last box. The Silent King. Now I did get the Silent King, I did do a boxing opening of the Silent King, and then my friend came over, Peter Tep. Now I promised to buy him one. I hadn't seen him. He'd just come over because it was about 3 days or something where you were allowed to see each other in England in certain areas because of the lockdowns. And so he popped over and I went, oh my God, here's your Silent King. So I got myself one after I gave him one, which is cool. But there again, he deserves one. Very close mate, really helped out with everything. And again, did one of our back reps. He's a really good lad, Peter Tep. And an inspiration when it comes to all things like this. I just think to myself, what would Peter Tep do? He would do something horrible. And then I don't do that, I do something less, something just slightly less cruel. Because he doesn't lose. Again, everyone can say Necrons and all the rest of it aren't competitive. That's absolutely true if you're getting 3s of this and 3s of this and 3s of this and min-maxing. If you're just taking your army down to the club and playing quite hardcore, they can be quite tidy. This is only Waffle. Anything in there, all of this is just Waffle. It's just an opinion and not one I'm willing to die over. Not a hill I'll die on. So all of this stuff is amazing. But I'm very much looking forward to making him up. I just need to make everything else up to get my skills up because it's Cesaric. I know it's Jare, but it's Cesaric, and that's how I'm pronouncing it for very personal reasons. The Silent King. He's got to be cool. Anyway, there we go. So that is all the opening of boxes and all such things, and the gladiator situation, which I will have to check out again. Weird, but again, the gnomes at Games Workshop are working very hard at the moment. It's not an easy situation for them. They've got a lot of design they need to do. They've got everything else that's happening. And I know we all want to play more. We all want to have a bit of a laugh, etc. And it's not their fault they can't get everything out to us because there's so many restrictions going on. Without talking about politics, but there are so many restrictions going on in England. It's a nightmare. How they're getting anything out to us is a miracle, to be honest. A miracle. So, now White Dwarf is usually just a magazine. This is a specialist version. I don't really know why. 462 doesn't seem like a special number to me. I know they do run occasionally something like these. Now, I'm probably going to get a subscription now, obviously, while I'm doing this too. I really should know. And 3, there's so many things when you open up a White Dwarf, you go, oh my God, I didn't remember them having things in there. And then you find out, well, they didn't. They've been developing it. They've been moving it forward for ages. Now, I remember Games Workshop's White Dwarf before it was Games Workshop the White Dwarf. White Dwarf was originally just an indie magazine, and they brought it out, and it was fine. It was great originally, then it went through a weird patch, then I think it's now stronger than it's ever been. More worthwhile than it's ever been. But, well, you can't really say that though, because you've got the internet now. You can find out what's coming out, tomorrow just by clicking it on. Whereas previously, when you got a White Dwarf, it would tell you everything you were going to know. So it's not more important. Okay, so I'll backtrack on that, but it is very worthwhile. Bob time reading again, most of the time. I think we know what we're talking about. I don't know what it is. Activate your unique Steam code to access an instant library of free Warhammer games. Okay, I'm going to fuzz that bit then. I want those games, some of them. Even though I don't have a lot of time, I like to have a brain. Okay, chapter approved. The Mutant Field Manual 2021. Now this will be the updated costs to everything. And that's a very handy little document to have. Now personally, I make no bones about it. I like Battlescribe because then I don't have to carry around this and use pencil and paper. Because when I'm having a cigarette outside or taking a walk or whatever, I can sit down and just make up an army if I am ever doing that. It's, again, a hot bath for me. It mentally is making up an army and going, oh, I could do this. So, because when you've got a lot of models, people will say, oh, just start another army, you only need 2,000 points. That is true. It's very, very true. You could do that. Alternately, I don't think of my army as one list. I don't. I see it as a smorgasbord of ingredients where I shall perfect my craft. Not being, competitive, but when I go into a mission, I think I want to play with this, and this, and I play with them. But if I want to get nasty, if someone's going to lay down the slap on me, I can then brew up evil to destroy them. and having all these different ingredients is just amazing. But also when you put them all out, cook your men, as I said, then you can just see how it all works out. It's just amazing. Okay, yep, so all of the different costs for everything. That's a fun little thing, and I suppose one could end all arguments by saying, as in a chapter proof, look, I shall look up the cost of that figure. Because sometimes things in any game can be wrong, or any resource, like, you know. Now, this is a white dwarf. Very nice, very colourful, spanky. Also good because it takes a bit of hard loving to destroy them. They start off with a good structural integrity because they need it. Because your favourite ones might be used for about 2-3 years. Say like I had the Crimson Fist Wolf for ages in the White Wolf, I used them. And okay, let's take a brief look inside episode issue 462. Okay, now here we are, and I'd just like everyone to look at the pictures. Can you see them? Yes, you can see them. People, look, real people trying their hardest to bring us something of worth, he said in bad light. Lyle Lowry, Matthew Hudson, Dan Harden, staff writer. Jonathan Stapleton, photographer. Oh, he's got a good eye, hasn't he? Sophie Bostock, a designer. I do like the layout, thank you very much, madam. And Ben Humber, a designer. And of course, managing editor is Lyle Lowry, and the senior designer is Matthew Hudson. Well, let's see what they've put together for us. But yeah, fair enough. Okay, so White Dwarf issue 462, Warhammer goes PC. What? Oh, that will be talking about all of the PC games here. And this was a free key that gives you access to Warhammer Underworlds Online, Titanicus Dominus, Dawn of War, that's Corker, dated but a corker, Warhammer Total War, Call of the Beastmen. Oh, I don't have the Beastmen. That yum. All right. Warhammer Quest 2. Never played them. Armageddon Orcs. Not played that either. Space Wolf. I think I played that a little bit. Sanctus Reach. Good game. Space Marine. Awesome, cracking game. Chaos and Conquest. I didn't play that one either. Talisman. I spent too many weeks playing Talisman. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can play. But either way. So yes, PC as in personal computers. Right. Okay. White Dwarf content. Now, contacts. Yeah, we'll have a look through. But I do like all of this. It makes it very easy on the eye. But again, when you're sitting and reading it, which is quite rare for magazines these days, you can actually just disappear into it properly. Here we go. 25 years of White. Is it 25 years? Oh, crumbs. Okay, 25 years of White Dwarf. Okay. And look at that. Conversion corner. The Atrax class Siege Walker. Doesn't it look the nuts? Oh, look at that. I can see it. Can you see it? I think I can. Alright then. Right. Halfling team. You got to be a special kind of masochist to have a all halfling team, I believe. But I haven't played Blood Bowl in a long time. Unless, of course, on the computer, and I always play Dark Elves and eat them for breakfast. So, where are your cheese? Right. That's a very nice bit there. So just some basic model of the month, Chapter Master Gabriel Seth, and that is gorgeous. It's nice that they're really interacting with the community. There was a period where they didn't. In the spotlight, Adam Gladzinski. I apologise if that's incorrectly pronounced. What a wonderful army. I know it's the standard colours, but that is a wonderful army. It's just something nice to look at. Worlds of Warhammer. delves into the background of the Age of Sigmar and the 41st millennium, looking at different sections. Second edition of the first codices, or codexes, okay. Looking up in the index, rules galore. So, just, editorial piece. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. This issue, A Tale of Four Warlords, continues, plus Index Astartes, Flashpoint Charadon, or Caradon, I don't know, and a painting and modelling feature for Baltan. My lads are Baltan. I don't paint them like that, but my lads are Baltan. The Butcher of Baltan. So it's Space Marines, Necrons, Sisters of Battle, and Orcs. Well done. Tale of Four Warlords. They go through, different games and such things, and how they're getting ready for a match. It's nice to see how other people do it. It's not to say, so they're doing it right. No, it's nice to see how other people do things, to occasionally get some nice ideas. And you've got to say the Sisters Army is just superb. Just superb. And not for everyone, but for a large percentage of the population of Warhammer fans, whether you want them or you want to run them over and shoot them, cab them and blow them up, a huge sprawling swathe of grots is a thing of wonder. It's either an opportunity for a pasting or an opportunity for an absolute infamous defeat as you're overrun by tiny little gremlins. It's so embarrassing, but it's a moment you'll never forget, positive or minus, but it's hilarious. Behind the Caradon line, or is it Charadon line? I don't know, I'll have to check. The galaxy is being torn asunder, new war zones exploding into life with ever-increasing frequency. In the third part of this Flashpoint series, the outlying systems of the Caradon sector come under attack from Heretic Astartes forces. Oh yeah. Raiders of the Wheel. Well, maybe there's a video in this. Who knows? The Eladar system. What's the third part? Terrors of the Sand. Ooh, bit of a story. I look forward to reading that myself, so you can't say it. Ha! See, the campaign bits, absolutely wonderful. I know at the moment it feels like we're almost being goaded, because none of us, there are swathes of the population of player fandom who cannot play, myself included. But there's lots here to be able to look at and plan out and discuss games for when they happen, which hopefully soon. I want to go to the club again, even if I have to wear a nappy on my face. Right. Index Astartes, forged during the Dark Founding, the Exorcist chapter of Space Marines harbour a dark secret. Though strong of will and virtually immune to corruption, the depths of which they sink to achieve such stalwartness border on heretical. Perhaps to defeat your enemies, first you must know them. The Exorcist, by James Ashby and Elliot Hammer. Hammer? It's because it's sideways for me that I'm having pronunciation issues, honestly. It's nothing to do with sleep deprivation. I tell you what, doing the bold con was very tiring. I stayed up very late. I don't do that, I'm too old for that. Exorcists. We might have to have a go at these guys, because they are cool. I do know the contents of this, though. Varrock, thank you. But, we'll see. We'll see. If I'm having again, sometimes I get writer's block, and that's when I do a public service announcement video, basically just getting information out and reading it out. Sometimes it's just excellent, I want to share it. to the best of my abilities, which I hope you feel are getting better. I know it's only small things, but I'm trying to edit things much better and record them more clearly. But obviously I'm not.